Why do people think there's some sort of conspiracy on how Brittany Murphy went out? Well, there's a few factors here. First, the home where she met her demise was sold to her from Britney Spears. Britney Spears claimed she saw a man and woman in the house which she believed to be a paranormal encounter, so she left all of her belongings and moved out that day. So Murphy occupies the home, but just before she passed, her mother made her write a will, which was odd because Britney was only about 30. After she was found collapsed, it was determined from an examination that it was due to cardiac arrest, pneumonia, as well as an iron deficiency. Her boyfriend passed 5 months later of the same exact thing. But the odd part about her examination was that the follicles of her hair had toxins found in them that could be linked to rat poison.
Brittany Murphy's death in 2009 shocked the world, with her passing officially attributed to pneumonia and anemia. But what if it wasn't just a tragic accident? Rumors of foul play involving powerful Hollywood figures like Ashton Kutcher and Diddy have surfaced, casting doubt on the official story. Ashton, who dated Brittany, became a focus of speculation after his behavior following her death raised eyebrows. Meanwhile, Diddy's involvement is linked to alleged business dealings that some believe contributed to Brittany's struggles in the industry. Then there's Mila Kunis, Ashton's wife, who may know more than she has revealed. It all started on an ordinary evening, but quickly turned into a nightmare that still haunts Hollywood. On December 20, 2009, Brittany Murphy took her final breath at just 32 years old, found unresponsive in her Los Angeles home by her mother, Sharon, and her husband, Simon Monjack. Her death was officially attributed to pneumonia, anemia, and substance intoxication from over-the-counter medications. But here's where things get strange. The circumstances surrounding her passing didn't sit right with many people. Brittany's home was reportedly filled with mold, which some speculated could have contributed to her declining health. However, the coroner's report did not link mold to her death. Even more unsettling were the strange behaviors of those close to her. Simon, her husband, was controlling, and their home life was described as isolated, chaotic, and highly toxic. Adding to the mystery was Ashton Kutcher's connection to the tragedy. Before Brittany married Simon, she had a high-profile relationship with Ashton during her rise to stardom. Although they had split long before her death, Ashton's name resurfaced due to a chilling coincidence. On the night Brittany was found, Ashton was in the spotlight for his own reasons, an event that would later cast a shadow over his otherwise perfect Hollywood image.
I was around Ashton Kutcher and Diddy before, and they were speaking about Brittany Murphy. And I don't think I ever told this story, and I'm about to tell this story here. While he was married to Demi Moore, he was still sneaking around seeing Brittany Murphy. You understand? We were going to Nets game, so we picked him up, and he was explaining to Diddy that every time he goes to Brittany's house, paparazzi always catches him or almost catch him coming out her apartment or coming out the building. Diddy was telling him that's either the doorman or your security. You know what I'm saying? And he was still married to Demi Moore at the time. So you could have something, you could be right. Because it's crazy how they said her and Kim and some other individual with them or around them all died of pneumonia and they were in perfect health.
It just gave me the shivers, that, because how can these two people be around the same people but die of the same death? Is it a case of the stories that are going to expose them off, they become a threat?
Then there's Diddy. While his name might not immediately come to mind in this context, whispers of his influence in the industry raise questions about how Brittany's struggles to find stability in Hollywood might be tied to powerful figures like him. The pieces don't fit perfectly, but their connection forms part of the complex web surrounding her tragic end. Ashton's charming persona may have deceived the world, but cracks in his story are beginning to surface. His involvement on the night Brittany passed away has been analyzed repeatedly. Despite their breakup, Ashton maintained a friendly public image when it came to Brittany, even praising her talent in interviews. However, actions speak louder than words, and when it came to her final moments, Ashton's actions raised serious questions. One detail that stands out is Ashton's account of a strange incident before Brittany's death. According to him, on the night of February 21, 2001, he had planned to pick Brittany up for a date. But when she didn't answer the door, he claimed he looked through the window and saw what he thought was red wine spilled on the floor. Assuming she wasn't home, he left. It wasn't until later that he learned she had actually been home. While this was a separate incident not directly linked to Brittany's 2009 death, the parallels are chilling. Questions about why Ashton didn't act sooner or at least call someone to check on Brittany have haunted his narrative. Critics argue that a closer examination of Ashton's behavior suggests he may have been too quick to dismiss red flags, whether out of negligence or something more calculated. This is still up for debate.
I've never seen a case where a young wife dies and 5 months later a youngish husband dies, basically from the same underlying factors.
Not only the same underlying factors, but even the couple's final hours alive are eerily similar. The night Brittany died, she passed out twice.
Eventually, I got to the point where she had told her mother, Sharon, "Mommy, I'm dying, I'm going to die."
To me, that is alarming that a mother would ignore those requests for help, those cries for help from her own daughter.
Ashton's statements following Brittany's death didn't do much to quell suspicion. Some people found his interviews and public appearances to be too detached. And let's not forget the whispers about Diddy's possible involvement. While Ashton remained in the media spotlight, some speculated that powerful figures like Diddy were quietly pulling the strings to keep their own secrets buried. Brittany's health issues and the chaos surrounding her personal life seemed to intersect with Hollywood's darker side. And when Mila Kunis broke her silence, it sent shockwaves through Hollywood and beyond. Known for keeping her personal life private, Mila felt compelled to address the growing storm surrounding Ashton Kutcher and his alleged ties to Brittany Murphy's death. While Mila didn't directly accuse Ashton of wrongdoing, insiders suggest her comments hinted at cracks in their seemingly perfect relationship. Allegedly, Mila expressed having reservations about Ashton's past and the people he associated with, including Diddy. Her statement suggested she was aware of Ashton's connections to Hollywood's darker side, connections that may have played a role in Brittany's tragic end. Adding fuel to the fire is speculation that Mila might be cooperating with authorities. Reports suggest she has been questioned about Ashton's involvement and his knowledge of Diddy's potential influence in Brittany's life. If true, this would mark a major turning point in the case, as Mila's insider perspective could shed light on long-held secrets. It's also hard to ignore the alleged strain these revelations have placed on Ashton and Mila's marriage. Rumors of tension have been circulating, with some sources claiming the couple is at odds over how to handle the ongoing scrutiny. Mila, known for her grounded and level-headed behavior, may be unwilling to stand by if Ashton's actions come under fire. Their public appearances have become less frequent, fueling speculation about discord behind closed doors.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
So eyebrow flashing is when the eyebrows go up for a brief moment, then back down. And this has been very much studied in social psychology, and in most cases when we see an eyebrow flash, it comes down to one of three things. The first one is emphasis. We emphasize with our eyebrows. The second one is a social greeting or social approval, some sort of social moment, like when we see someone and we greet them, sometimes those eyebrows go up. And finally with surprise. With surprise, our eyebrows go up as well. So the first eyebrow flash we see from Mila Kunis is when she says, "We support victims. We have done this historically through our work." And with historically, we get this eyebrow flash. And this is a very common eyebrow flash of emphasis. So she's emphasizing that historically, if you look into our history, we've consistently supported victims of these kinds of crimes. There can also absolutely be an element of seeking social approval here with the audience, of saying, we've done this historically, so cut us some slack over here.
Behind the music empire lies a history of power, influence, and fear. Diddy, one of the most influential figures in the entertainment industry, has long been surrounded by whispers of controversy, from accusations of manipulating artists to allegations of violence and intimidation. Diddy's reputation carries a weight that's hard to ignore. His connection to Brittany Murphy may not be obvious, but those who have dug deeper into the case see troubling links. Brittany was caught in the crossfire of powerful players vying for control. Some speculate that her health and career struggles weren't just unfortunate coincidences, but rather the result of being ensnared in a system dominated by figures like Diddy. Diddy's ties to Ashton Kutcher also raise eyebrows. There are claims that Ashton's rise in Hollywood was aided by powerful figures like Diddy, who may have seen him as a useful ally. If this is true, it could explain why Ashton's name continues to surface in discussions about Britney's tragic end. But what would Diddy have to do with Britney's demise? Some theorists point to Diddy's alleged involvement in controlling narratives within the entertainment world. Britney's unpredictable personality and refusal to conform to industry norms could have made her a target. While there's no direct evidence linking Diddy to her death, his history of maintaining a tight grip on those in his orbit makes the theory difficult to dismiss. Over the years, Diddy has faced numerous allegations, from contract disputes with artists to more serious claims involving violence and intimidation. These allegations paint a picture of a man who doesn't shy away from using his influence to silence others. Britney may have unknowingly crossed paths with forces far beyond her control. As the puzzle pieces fall into place, the web of deceit becomes even more tangled. For years, Ashton Kutcher and Diddy have maintained an image of occupying different spaces in the entertainment world.
What do you have here, Rob? What clip is this with Kutcher?
So this is Ashton Kutcher. He was on the Hot Ones.
Go ahead. No, it's okay.
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote. If you have one, yeah.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot. I can't tell. Can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. There was one moment, so it's not really a party story, but our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over punked, because he was like, yo,
don't punk
you
me.
can't punk me. And I was like, I don't want to tell you, everybody's on the table. He's like, not me, I'm off the table. And so that started our conversation. We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out, watch football together.
Reports suggest that Diddy and Ashton crossed paths at high-profitable events and gatherings, though their friendship was never made public. Industry insiders claim that the two often found themselves in the same spaces, mingling with influential figures. This connection takes on a darker dimension when considered alongside resurfacing claims about Brittany Murphy's death. Some theorists point to an event where Brittany allegedly confided in a close friend about feeling threatened by unnamed powerful figures in Hollywood. The timing and circumstances surrounding this are chilling to consider. Brittany, who had become a potential queen of Instagram, actually died of depression in 2016. Recently, uncovered documents suggest that Brittany may have been working on a tell-all project before her death, a project that reportedly contained explosive details about her experiences in the industry. This web of relationships, threats, and potential secrets points to a larger story, one that could forever change how we view Hollywood's brightest stars and most powerful moguls. Meanwhile, Hollywood's golden couple, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, faces a storm they may not survive. Ashton and Mila have long been adored for their charm, relatability, and philanthropy, but recent events have turned public sentiment against them, leaving many questioning the authenticity of their public image. One of the most glaring controversies involves their public support for Danny Masterson, their former That 70s Show co-star. Masterson, convicted on multiple counts, received character letters from both Ashton and Mila during his trial. In these letters, the couple vouched for Masterson's good character, a move that shocked and angered fans. The backlash was intense, with critics accusing Ashton and Mila of prioritizing their loyalty to a friend over the victim's experiences.
You got Ashton Kutcher in love with Mila Kunis on That 70s Show. Then they break up for absolutely no reason after he starts hanging out with Diddy. Then he marries Demi Moore, who drained him of all the adrenochrome she can, and apparently he replenished himself by doing inappropriate things with their daughters.
Social media exploded with hashtags calling for accountability, and their public apologies did little to quell the outrage. Instead, their apologies only fueled the anger. With Ashton already under scrutiny for his connection to Brittany Murphy's case, his support for Masterson feels like another strike against his integrity. Fans are now questioning whether Ashton and Mila's squeaky clean image was ever genuine. One comment read, "Hollywood's darkest secrets are always swept under the rug. If Brittany was working on a tell-all, it's no surprise things ended the way they did. Mila might just blow the lid off this." Another added, "Ashton's always been shady, and his connection to Diddy makes this even more suspicious. Brittany deserved better, and it's about time the truth came out." The doubts extend beyond their support for Masterson. Some are now revisiting Ashton's previous relationships and career moves with a more critical eye, noting patterns of behavior that seem at odds with his public persona. For Mila, the backlash is even more devastating. as she has long been seen as a stabilizing and moral force in their relationship. If Mila Kunis's alleged knowledge of Ashton's ties to Diddy and the circumstances surrounding Brittany's death proves to be as significant as it seems, we could be looking at a major turning point in a case that has remained shrouded in mystery for over a decade. Brittany's family and fans have long believed that the full truth has never been uncovered, and the recent wave of revelations may just be the catalyst needed for authorities to re-examine the case. The more these connections come to light, the clearer it becomes that something was never right about Brittany's sudden death. This could very well lead to a reopening of the investigation, especially as more pieces of the puzzle fall into place. But we want to hear from you. What do you think about all of this? Do you believe Mila's revelations will lead to justice for Brittany? Will the truth ever come to light, or is it already too late? Share your thoughts in the comments.